Well, hello everyone, Spencer here, also known as ScreenSpeak, and welcome to my official spoiler review for Superman 2025. So without further ado, let's discuss. Alright guys, so this is dun 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 Superman 2025 review. And I am super excited to be here today discussing this because this is my most anticipated movie of the year. Can you tell? Can you tell? I bought it. My mom bought me a shirt for this, so that was very gracious of her. Because I had a Flash shirt, and I was like, it's DC, but it's not the same unless you get the full merch. So I am not the biggest DC fan. I gotta preface this off reviews by saying I am a massive Marvel fan. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man, and I just endlessly love all the Spider-Man content out there. I think Zack Snyderverse was okay. I love the Christopher Nolan movies. I love most of the Batman movies. Like the Michael Keaton movies are great. The Batman Rogues Gallery is great. DC animated shows are great. I like Doom Patrol. Titans is not really good. If you like it, that's cool. I think the Young Justice show is cool. I haven't seen the whole thing. Again, I think lots of the DC animated stuff is great. I started watching DC's Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, and stopped watching those CW shows. I watched some of Stargirl, and so I'm into DC Comics. But the shows kind of went off, the CW shows went off, and then the Snyderverse was just very blah. I never saw Man of Steel. I watched Justice League, Batman vs. Superman in flip-flop order, and they're bad movies. I never cared about the 4-hour Snyder Cut. And then Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam are like my top 3 of films from the Snyderverse. And then they all get ruined by a sequel. Blue Beetle's fine. Black Adam's pretty cool with the Lauren Baloff score, but those just are done. They're fine, but that era's gone. So now, and the best one is James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, I enjoyed in the theater, and it's stupid, dumb fun, but if you want like a good superhero movie, it's not a good superhero movie. Then The Suicide Squad is fantastic. It's my favorite James Gunn movie. It's my favorite DC movie that was kind of in the Snyderverse, kind of its own thing. So now that still is my favorite James Gunn movie. I'm going to be doing a James Gunn ranking coming out later this week. And this movie, Superman, reinvigorating, like starting a new universe for the DCU, it is fantastic. The score, like bringing the original score, a theme by John Williams, who they mention in the credits, it's fantastic. And the theme throughout, the score throughout is phenomenal, done by John Murphy and David Fleming. David Fleming seemed to do a lot of the action scenes for composing, and then John Murphy did a lot of like the instrumental, calmer tone themes. So I like that a bit. But the characters were written really well. By the way, if you missed it, my vlog up there, I watched this movie with my friend Edward, Michael, and Johnathan. Michael and Johnathan are from home. Edward is from my college BG. Click the card there to watch it. But we were talking about after the movie, like the movie starts out with like instead of people are theorizing it was like a text crawl, but there's text on screen coming up and saying like 3 decades ago this baby landed on Earth, like this is Superman, and this is like what happened. This is how he was raised 3 years ago. 3 minutes ago he fought a war. 3 hours ago he fought a war, and then 3 minutes ago, he just lost. So, and he's damaged. You see that, like we saw this clip before Minecraft movie, entering the Fortress of Solitude, and I just love, and the robot number 4, Alan Tudyk, K2SO voice was peak as well, to hear his voice in here. I love Alan Tudyk as a voice actor, and this movie feels joyous. Like right out of the gate, or start from the beginning to the end, and you feel that, like the Fortress of Solitude, like you feel, like even in the original Superman, you feel a little bit of joy, but in the Snyderverse, you don't feel that joy. and I never cared to watch Man of Steel because I just never cared to be in that world. But also another thing is I played Lego DC Supervillains, and that game, like Metropolis, it feels colorful. That game feels colorful. I mean, I know Gotham is dark and grim, but like Metropolis and some of the characters are colorful and vibrant, and that game is amazing. It's just so much fun. And this movie, like Metropolis and like the Daily Planet, like when you see it for the first time, you go, I want to live there. I want to be in that world. In Man of Steel, I just like, I don't care. In my opinion, again, I haven't seen it, but I like judging. I should never judge a book by its cover. But from what I got from the Snyderverse, literally from watching Batman versus Superman, I went, I don't care. So yeah, like again, like Wonder Woman and Shazam, they're pretty fun, and Aquaman's fun, like with the fish vibe, underwater vibe, but you don't get colorful from lots of those movies, right? Like Aquaman is not, he's gold, but he's not like bright and colorful. I don't know. So there's a lot of joyous stuff from this movie. You get some great characters like Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult is great, David Cornsweet as Superman is fantastic. His whole suit, from his translation into Clark Kent is amazing. And Rachel Brosnahan, marvelous Mrs. Maisel as Lois Lane. Their chemistry, Clark Kent and Lois Lane are perfect together. I just cracked my knuckles. But not only are they perfect together, I was surprised to see that this is not an origin movie, and they didn't. I was expecting Lois Lane to not know who Superman was, but she's already dating Clark Kent, and later Perry White, who's played by Wendell Pierce, who was also in the Marvel movie Thunderbolts that came out earlier this year, goes, how long were they a thing? So I just laughed at that. There were some great jokes. Like, this is a James Gunn movie. And there's a great scene with Mr. Terrific. By the way, I'm going to get to the Justice Gang, but there's a great scene with Mr. Terrific and the song it plays. I'm like, this is totally a James Gunn choreographed scene. But like my friend Michael was saying, like, this, it doesn't feel goofy for the sake of being goofy. It's like James Gunn goofiness. It's like it's why Guardians 2 is my favorite Guardians. I'll explain that in my ranking, but it's like this movie has goofiness, seriousness, and like a little bit of emotional stuff, but not like somber, not like Guardians 3 issues, right? This movie is like the perfect balance. But Suicide Squad still takes the cake for me. But yeah, there's like Metamorpho is in this movie, and he's used really well to show like the kryptonite when Superman is taken in, and Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. is in this movie. And what Mr. Will Reeve, Christopher Reeve's son, was in this movie. Who is a news anchor on GMA. So he was a news anchor in the movie, and I thought it was great to have Christopher Reeve's son in this, because Christopher Reeve was the original Superman, so having a little cameo there with his son was just splendid for the Daily Planet. And then the Justice Gang, I love them. I mentioned Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific was played by the guy, I forget his name, Eddie, no, I think it's somebody else, but who was played by Darwin from First Class, who was Darwin in First Class. So it's really cool, and he's older now because that movie was 14 years ago. And their headquarters, literally the Hall of Justice, they filmed this in Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Train Museum, where you can see in the museum it says 2 trains or whatever, and it's the Hall of Justice that's inspired. The building's inspired by the Hall of Justice, because Cincinnati is where Superman was created, and they made the museum and they shot it there in Cincinnati. It's just crazy to me that to know that, and like I love this movie because of these certain things that happen. And Nathan Fillion played Green Lantern, played by Nathan Fillion, is amazing. I love him as that actor, and he's friends with James Gunn. And Hawkgirl, played by Isabella Merced. She's one of my celebrity crushes, and I love her so much and everything that she's in. She's from Dora, from the middle school movie that she was in, to I was just eating every time she was up on screen. I was like, "Go Hawkgirl, go!" And to Madam Web that she's in, apparently. It's not a great movie, but she's in that, apparently. And from Alien Romulus to The Last of Us to Instant Family, she's in. Whew, my goodness. To this, I can't wait to see her in Peacemaker Season 2. Speaking of Peacemaker Season 2, we got to see a cameo from John Cena as Peacemaker in this. It was quite the treat. I was like, oh my gosh, there he is. So yeah, I just love the movies, how threatening Lex Luthor was to what they're setting up for the Hammer of Bolivia, to then being who was actually wearing the suit was Ultraman, and by the way, I was saying Hawkgirl. Yeah, Hawkgirl was great, and the Justice Gang, their scene from the Hall of Justice was great as well. Behind this Hammer Bolivia suit was Ultraman, and Ultraman in Lego DC Supervillains, which I believe in the comics, there's a Justice Syndicate, which is an alternate Justice League, and they're from like an alternate universe. I think they're from Apokolips actually, and where Darkseid is from, and Granny Goodness and DSAD. And I don't know if they're bringing those characters in. My favorite part of Lego DC Supervillains, the two fights I love were Grid and Deathstorm, which I would love those characters to be introduced into this new DCU. But now what they did with Ultraman in the final fight, by the way, the effects were amazing. They're like Metamorpho's effects. I have to take a quick detour because Metamorpho's effects and Crypto CGI was like phenomenal. We were talking about this in the vlog that I thought like everything was flawless. Like I was like, oh no, what are they going to think of Metamorpho's design? But they were like, no, these are great effects. And I was like, right? So Ultraman was cloning. And now this is what I'm wondering for Peacemaker Season 2, because we see two different versions of Peacemaker. If Peacemaker is cloned or a multiversal, like a alternate version of him. But because Ultraman is a clone, and there's nothing wrong that they did this, since Ultraman is a clone of David Gordon Sweat's Superman, that's why Lex Luthor was able to get into the Fortress of Solitude, and get the message from Superman's parents. By the way, Jor-El was played by Bradley Cooper, who voices Rocket Raccoon, which is really cool because James Gunn knows Bradley Cooper, who played Rocket Raccoon when he did Guardians, and get the message from Jor-El, Superman's Kryptonian parents, and make a fake message to say, you guys, Superman's gonna destroy the Earth. And by the way, there's this like foreign president who the actor, for the life of me, I was driving me nuts the whole movie, and I'm like, oh, I think it's from Triangle of Sadness, and I'm like, I'm trying to picture the scene that he's in, like drinking alcohol, and it was from the movie Triangle of Sadness, which is like an indie film, like a really small indie film. So, Triangle of Sadness is a crazy movie, but probably not for everyone. But so that's where the foreign president was from, with the wacky hair, looked like Albert Einstein. But I was talking about Ultraman, that it doesn't bother me that they cloned him, but in the comics he's from the Crime Syndicate. He's an alternate version of Superman. But this version, the fact that they cloned him made me go, well, it's cool in the movie and the scene, like the final fight and everything, but I don't think that they're going to bring the Crime Syndicate in now. And the fact that they had this pocket universe where Superman was taken, and where Metamorpho was, leads me to leave, because there's like, we shouldn't make a pocket universe, and then the rift, and then the Earth started splitting open. It was tense. It was very cool. It was a great movie. But then I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking like Ultraman's from the Crime Syndicate, and this thing that Lex Luthor has feels a lot like the boom tube that Lex Luthor has in Lego DC Supervillains. Are they not bringing a Here's my theory. I don't know where this is going, but because that Snyderverse just did Darkseid, which is where he lives on Apokolips, they probably don't want to do Darkseid quite yet. That's my theory, and that's probably why they didn't call it Boom Tube, and probably why they didn't have, or why, I don't mind Ultraman in the movie, but why it's not part of the Crime Syndicate from Apokolips. That's probably why they changed it a little bit. And to me, it works, because the friends that I went and saw with yesterday aren't going to know the entire lore. They're just watching the movie on screen and go, yeah, that's fine with me. And that was fine with me, too. But if somewhere down the line James Gunn goes, wait, I want to do the Crime Syndicate, I'm gonna ask myself, well then how are you gonna do that when Ultraman, you already had Ultraman as a different version? So I don't know. I've still got to wait and find out. But Ma and Pa Kent were just fantastic. Like as I said, all the actors were phenomenal in this movie. Yeah, it's just emotional. Like I didn't cry, but like you feel the emotion there when Superman is back home. Clark, I mean, they know he's Superman. Like you see Rachel Brosnahan, Lois Lane put him down on the bed at home from Smallville with Ma and Pa Kent, and they're like, is he going to be okay? And it's worrying. It's worrying, and they're great actors. They care about their son Clark. And then when you hear Lex Luthor, or when you hear Mr. Terrific go, we need you, and like the rift is opening, and like Lex Luthor is on TV, like go, ha, Superman, come stop me, like blah blah blah, and Ma Kent goes, I just cleaned your boots, I'll go get them for you. It was great, and you see that in the trailer, but it's just great line delivery, and there's a great line delivery, there's great jokes, it's tense. Justice Gang fighting the kaiju, and Metamorpho at the end goes, Hawker goes, we could use Metamorpho, because Metamorpho like uses a hammer to smash one of the bad guys, which is a great scene. And Green Lantern's like, yeah, right, this guy will never join the Justice Gang, and Metamorpho's like, Justice Gang, that's a great name. So I love the characters in this movie. And by the way, the end credit, there are two end credit scenes that I agree with everyone. Why did they make them what they did and then not put... Because Supergirl shows up. And I lost my shit. Because I think the actress who plays Hawkgirl, Isabella Merced, is attractive and sexy and hot. But Millie Alcott, who plays Supergirl, who they're coming out with Supergirl next June, and I have a theory about that movie, or I have anticipation for that movie. But she's attractive as well. She was in the first season of How to Train Your Dragon. What? House of the Dragon. And she's attractive as well. And I'm like, we got two hotties in this movie, man. Two hotties in Superman. Ooh. And by the way, like when I said that Perry White was like, how long have they been hooking up Superman and Lois Lane? Are like, they go and have a kiss in the building. Was it the Daily Planet or not the Hall of Justice? It was the Daily Planet, I think, or some other building. I don't know where it was. But Supergirl shows up and she's like, where's my dog? And Crypto jumps up on... By the way, the where's the dog scene was hilarious. I busted out laughing because I heard about where's the dog scene. And I'm just like, the way it plays out in the movie is so funny. And then at the end when Supergirl's like, where's my dog? And she's like, yeah, I got drunk on another planet because you can't get drunk on planets with the yellow sun. So I was like, that was funny. But like, they should have saved the Supergirl thing for the post-credit scenes. But the first post-credit was Superman with Crypto sitting on the moon. Second one was Mr. Terrific and Superman having like a little disagreement on like the building that they just put together because there's a crack in the world happening. But the building was off center. He's like, fine, if you want to fix it, fix it. And you're like, sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up. It's funny gags. Like it's a lot like Star-Lord and Guardians 3. Like when Star-Lord's grandpa's like, don't get me started about who mows the grass. I'm like, it feels comical. It's James Gunn comedy, but you could have changed like the Supergirl thing to be like the last scene of the movie. So I don't know, but the way it was done was great. The pacing was great. There was tense stuff, emotional stuff, laughing, like perfect James Gunn jokes, and the pacing was great. The effects were amazing. The acting was great, and the score was great. So all that said and done, I cannot wait for Supergirl next year to see Millie Alcott as Supergirl. I think she's a perfect cast. Jason Momoa as Lobo. If Jason Momoa as Lobo, perfect casting, but if he does not ride a dolphin in the movie, like from Lego DC Supervillains, and he loves dolphins in the comics, if he does not do that in the movie, I am panning the movie. Okay? You heard it first here. So I'm panning that movie if he does not ride a dolphin. That is what I want to see. Like, I never want to see anything more in a movie. I've never said, I need this, but I need that pronto. So, that's what I need. But that is my thoughts on Superman. This is a 9 out of 10 movie, 4.5 out of 5 stars on LetterBoxd, and a solid A for entertainment. A great start to the new DCU. Thank you, James Gunn. I was the one in my theater to start the clapping when it said directed by James Gunn. I started clapping in that theater. I don't care what anybody else says. I was the first one. You heard it. So, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for what is to come in this DC universe. I am super excited for the next 10 years or so what James Gunn has planned. Can't wait. Can't wait for DC in the future. Can't wait for Marvel in the future. And I can't wait for Star Wars in the future. Hopefully the big three major franchises can get back up there. Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. Hopefully. We'll see. But this rocked. So we're going to have to wait and see where this goes in the future. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. And as always, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Bye.